Hi, welcome to ThinkTech. We are raising public awareness about technology, energy, globalism, and diversity. I'm Donna Blanchard, your host of Center Stage and proud managing director of Kumukuhua Theater. We're coming to you live from Pioneer Plaza in the heart of downtown Honolulu, very near Kumukuhua Theater. Today, my guest is artist Damon Ramsey. We're going to get to him in just a moment. First, I want to let you know that we broadcast our shows live every weekday from noon to 5 on ThinkTechHawaii.com, and we also broadcast on Ustream.tv and Spreaker.com. All of our shows are archived on ThinkTechHawaii.com and YouTube, so you can catch up with us there. Without further ado, I'd like to get to my guest artist, Damon Ramsey. Damon's intense and whimsical paintings of tikis involved in life in Hawaii are unique. He combined his love of Hawaiiaiana and cartoons to create his own genre. Welcome, Damon Ramsey.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
It's good to be here.
I saw your art in on the zoo fence originally and thought, it's very good.
Thank you.
It's very good. Your attention to detail and your use of color is, it looks like you have a lot of training, but then your characters are these silly little tiki guys. I'd never seen anything like that.
I laugh because I have no training. I'm completely self-taught.
Really?
I've had mentors, Paul Forney, John Massimino, but I'm mostly self-taught, out of books in the library. And I found I had a love for modern art and brightly colored, bold lines, Peter Max, Picasso, Kandinsky, and then make modern art and make it Hawaiiaiana. That's where I came up with it.
I don't even know where to start then. Okay, so when did you start painting?
I really was into it in high school. And I had a really excellent art teacher, Lee Bogle, who's actually now a really famous artist in Seattle. I'm originally from Seattle. Okay. And had a guidance counselor that told me that, what do you want to be? I said, I would like to be an artist. And she says, choose something else. And I wish I knew who she was, because I would like to say to her, hey, guess what? You can do anything you want to do. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay,
so in high school you started painting?
In high school I started painting, and then I got involved in music, and I was a musician, and I got tired of getting 5 guys in a band going one direction. It's very frustrating, having a band. And I wanted to do art that I could create and finish on my own time. And I started doing watercolors, and got pretty good at watercolors, and had an opportunity to move to Hawaii. And my watercolors weren't bright enough for the colors here, so I switched to acrylics. Yeah.
Wait a back the truck up, because we just went from high school to present day there. Right. We're going to break that down a little bit more. You enjoyed painting in high school. You got out of high school. You were in Seattle. What did you do then?
I was working at Microsoft and computer companies and doing rock and roll music. I was a grunge rocker from Seattle.
For Microsoft?
No, I was a grunge rocker in the Seattle scene, the art scene. I worked for Microsoft. That was my day job, but at night I would put on my superhero costume and go rock out and do that. Had hair down to how so long. And,
okay.
And so I did that for many years, and then I was at a job in Virginia Mason, and a lady looked at one of my watercolor paintings, and she says, you should sell those. And I never thought it occurred to me of selling them. I was really doing them for fun, and that planted the seed of, well, maybe I could sell these. And had an opportunity to come here, and I said, well, you know what, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to go to Hawaii and be an artist.
No, stop it.
I swear to God. All my friends thought I was crazy. They looked at me like, you're crazy, you're nuts, you'll be back. And I went back 4 years later with a bunch of prints and handed paintings and prints for all my friends.
Had you sold anything there before you decided you were going to do this? You didn't just say, I've been selling my art here, now I'm going to go over here and do it. You said, I'm
just going to move to Hawaii and be an artist, yeah. I was a surfer. I was surfing in Seattle, and it was cold water. And
surfer. Okay.
So I wanted to go to Hawaii where I could surf warm water, and I was going to be an artist. I read a magazine. It was a book. It was things you can do in Hawaii, and one of the things is listed all the careers that they needed, and one of them was artist. And I was like, really, I could do that. And so, yeah.
Artist as in what?
Just said that they need artists here in Hawaii. And I did an art show here in Hawaii, and then I found the zoo fence down in Kapiolani Park, and I started down there, and that's where I started basically my art career, was down there. And wasn't very good at first, but I was very tenacious. was the dog with the bone. You know, if you take away the bone, I'm going to growl for sure, and maybe bite you. This is what I'm going to do, and I was determined, and I just kept painting.
Do you remember the first painting you ever sold?
The first art that I ever sold, well, I was doing all kinds of stuff. I had like color crayons and watercolor markers, and I hadn't really nailed it down to what I wanted to do. But
you were coloring things.
I was yeah, my own style, but I would color them and frame them and go down to the zoo fence and just throw stuff at the fence and see what stuck.
Do you pay as an artist to be on the fence?
You do. It's a small amount. It's $10 a day if you're a standby, and if you're a member of the zoo fence and you pay 3 months in advance, it's $6 a day, and it's every Saturday and Sunday.
So you go there, for anyone who hasn't been to the zoo fence,
right.
This is the fence on the...
It's on Montserrat, right on the outside of the zoo. It keeps the animals on the inside, or it keeps us from getting inside the zoo. I haven't decided which side the fence
the animals are on.
Yeah.
And it's just a fence with, usually there's an artist standing there in their work hanging on the fence in front of them.
Between each pole, there's a designated spot, and each artist sets up in their spot. I'm the secretary down there, so I'm down there early, and I assign spots to people that are standbys and set up my art. And I've been down there since 2002, I think, is when I started down there.
Oh, wow.
So.
Okay, so your first piece.
My first piece, I was very successful with, I don't remember the first piece. I can remember some pieces that were pretty spectacular. But the first art that I really sold was, I would go to Walmart and I'd get these little $2 Walmart frames. And I would take a Bristol board and colored pencils, and I would do little landscapes in my style. And $20 framed, had the frame in the mat, you know, suitcase sized, you know, because that's important down at the zoo fence. You have stuff that's
a lot of
you can take home in a suitcase. Yeah, the big paintings take a while to sell, you know, where the small ones go quickly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you're selling them for $20?
$20, yeah, and that's what I really started doing, that.
You came here and you made a living doing that?
Not at first.
Did you wait tables?
Yeah, did not wait tables, no. Actually, you know, I never had a day job when I lived here because I'd saved money from, you know, working in computers all those years. And just kind of cashed all that and believed in myself and, you know, starving artist. Just make it happen, you know, just don't take no for an answer, believe in yourself, and think good things will happen. Work hard, you know, I paint every day.
Yeah.
So, or try to.
So yeah, tell me about that. How do you structure your day to make sure that?
Oh, my day's crazy. I'll make a list, and it'll be like, you know, maybe I need to cut. I make these little fish out of wood. Maybe I'm cutting wood that day. I'm cutting fish, or I make them out of pallets. So I have to get the pallets and tear those down. So that could be part of my day. And paint this, and I got this commission to do, and you know, I need to go to Hawaiian Graphics and get, you know, stretcher bars, and you know, that's part of my day. So.
How many hours a day are you investing in that?
In art, gosh, at least 8.
You make yourself do that, or do you say, I need to put this amount of time
Yeah, you know, the
into
hardest thing about art is just getting started. Getting up in my studio and sitting down and actually getting started, that's the hardest part. Once I'm in my studio and I got the paint going and you know, the tunes are on, it's just 6 hours goes by, you know, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
So.
Are you painting what you want, or are you painting what you feel is going to be commercial?
Both.
Really?
It was funny because I was painting these tikis and palm trees, and I had an artist friend of mine say, you know, what would you paint if you could paint anything you want? And I thought about it, and I go, I don't know. I'm painting this to make a living, so I have to paint palm trees and diamond head and, you know, tikis, and that's what to make a living at it, you know, that's what you have to do. I moved off the island for 5 years. There was a girl involved. I'm back now. But I was able to paint whatever I wanted to at that time. And it was interesting because I did an art show in Connecticut, one of the little art shows. And I had made my style art, but to be more Connecticut themed stuff. But I also had my tikis. And everybody bought tiki paintings. And it was at that point that I was like, well, that's what I want to do anyways, is tiki. So I'm a tiki artist. This is what I do.
You're a tiki artist.
This is what I do. I remember I even have a little sketch in my book that one of my sketchbooks that says, "You're a tiki artist, damn it," you know, and has tikis. and pretty much my sketchbooks after that were really a lot more tikis, yeah. was interesting.
Are you in Wikipedia as the tiki artist? You should be.
I don't think I'm in Wikipedia yet.
You can make that happen.
I guess
you
I
know.
could do it yourself, right? Because it's Wikipedia.
You can make it happen.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about that.
Because I don't know how many others are out there.
There's a lot of tiki artists out there.
What?
There's a lot of other tiki artists out there. There's a whole genre of that 60s retro cocktail tiki artist. And well, I became a tiki artist because I saw a Juxtaposed magazine. I saw a picture. And I was painting landscapes and waves mostly at that point. And I saw this tiki painting and I was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing I think I've ever seen. I closed the book real quick and looked around. I was like, nobody else is doing tikis.
Who else knows about this?
And I was like, okay, that's it, I'm doing tiki. So I did a tiki painting and it was a tiki head and he was holding a cocktail glass. And sold it that weekend and then painted another one and then sold that one. And that was kind of led me down my path.
That people like this stuff.
People like tikis, and I liked doing the tikis, and they do all the stuff I like to do. So
that's awesome. And Zuri, let me know when you're ready to show some of those awesome tiki paintings.
Right on.
Because are the other tiki paintings that you saw, were they as whimsical?
It's different styles. I mean, everybody's got their own style in art, you know. But it's like you have landscape artists; they all paint the same thing, but they can look different, totally different, each artist.
Okay.
It always amazes me how artists use the same materials, but always come and use the same methods to get to that end result, but the end result is always so different.
Yeah.
Just,
and it can be
and
different
it can
on
be
a
the
given
same
day
theme. I mean,
from the
you know,
same.
it's the same
yeah.
theme, you know. It's like we're all painting, you know, paint that tree. You know, 10 different guys are going to paint that. They're going to pull out their paints. They're going to put it on the canvas. They're going to get to that end product, but it'll always look different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? And we're going to be able to look at some of your paintings in the next segment.
Great.
As I understand. When you started painting, though, we have to break this down a little bit further because a lot of people paint and they don't reach a level of making a painting look like what they want it to look
Right.
like, as you do, as I'm
Right.
assuming that you do.
Yeah.
So
Actually, that's interesting because when I first started, I couldn't get the paintbrush to do what I wanted it to do. I could see it in my head, but I couldn't get the paintbrush to do what I wanted it to do. And then I got to the point where I could get the painting to look like what I was seeing in my head. And now I'm at the point where I do a sketch and the painting turns out better than what I had actually originally seen in my head. So I don't know what point that happened, but.
And did this happen over
years?
This happened over years and with no formal training?
No formal training.
Just doing it?
Just do it.
And looking at others, like do you
Just
go to
jump in the pool. Oh yeah,
museums?
I learned art history from the Hawaii Public Library. I mean, I went there and got that big thick book on art history and made it. I had to check it out like 3 times, but I made it all the way through. I read it, every word. And as I was going through, I was tagging, you know, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that painting. Oh, I like that painting a lot. I like that painting. And at the end, there was a theme. It was bright colors. It was modern art. It was black lines. It was like, well, that's the direction I want to head. So.
Do you have artists in your family?
My grandmother had a couple paintings that she painted in her house, but generally no. Yeah, just kind of.
Were they any good? We won't tell
her
them.
paintings were good, actually. I remember looking at them. I wish that I had them.
Oh.
But.
Okay. No one else in the family?
No one else in the family is really artists. None of them are artists. Yeah. I'm kind of the only musician too, so.
Yeah, they think you're crazy,
Yeah.
don't they? But what are you going to do for a living?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and they all looked at me again, what you're crazy, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, there are times when, you know, rent's due. God, this weekend, I have to make it happen somehow, and
Better
somehow
paint some tikis.
I made a kind of deal with the big guy. You know, if I work hard at this, he'll take care of me, and I've never been late with my rent, and I've never, you know, and it just becomes more successful as you go, you know. People see your stuff and then they want a custom painting, you know, and so I'll have a custom painting that I'll work on when times get more lean.
When you get some.
Yeah, when I have time for those, you know.
Do you get many of those?
I do, yeah. I consistently usually have 2 or 3 sitting in my queue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why do you wait to do those? Why don't you do those?
Well, I
right
do them
away?
as fast as I can, but I got to keep feeding the zoo fence. And, you know, because that's where I'm making my money, you know, make my living selling paintings. So I have to feed all of the other little things that I do. And I get to them as fast as I can, you know, but I'm a busy guy.
That's pretty awesome. What do people ask you to do?
I do a lot of Tiki Bar paintings, and they'll send me pictures of their Tiki Bar. And I'll put like, you know, like their lamp and their, you know, their dog. They'll send me a picture of their dog. They'll, you know, want a girl tiki at the bartender, and, you know, not missing a tooth on that one, you know, so.
We've got one up right now.
Oh, excellent.
We've got one of your tiki
That's
paintings.
the alien walks into a tiki bar. As it turns out, I'm the alien in this picture, yeah.
Is there a joke behind, were we going somewhere that an alien walks into a tiki
That's,
bar?
you know, and that's, it's its own joke. It's, you know, starts its own conversation, really. You know, Dali used to paint, you know, call paintings, you know, fried eggs on a piece of toast.
Yeah.
With a clock, you know, and then, you know.
So it
Salvador
starts there.
Dali was the man. You know? I
He
love
was.
Salvador Dali, yeah. Not only was he a promotional genius, but his art was just... I was in New York and I saw one of his paintings, and it was way bigger than I thought it would be. And I remember just standing there looking at it, and it was the stuff that was inside the painting that was really wow. I've seen it in the book, you know. I have the book. I've seen it in the book. I've seen the picture 100 times, but standing there, you could look into the picture. It was like mind blow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes me want to see that painting. What's the name of it? Do you remember?
It was one of the crucifixion ones. I don't remember exactly which ones, but it was Jesus on the cross, and it was huge. It was I was in New York.
Oh.
Yeah, when I saw it. Quite amazing.
Okay, we're going to go on a break.
Okay.
We're going to come back and continue the conversation.
Sure.
So we'll be right back. Please stay put. You're watching ThinkTech Hawaii on
Inspired
ThinkTech
by
Hawaii
an
Digital
ancient
Service.
culture, classical Chinese dance, vigorous physicality, timeless stories, 5,000 years of Chinese music and dance. Shen Yun presents authentic Chinese culture. Coming to Blaisdell Concert Hall, May 8th and 9th. Tickets at shenyun.com or call 808-792-3919.
Aloha, my name is Josh Green. I'm a senator from the Big Island. I work in the ER there. But on Tuesday afternoons, I get to come and spend 45 minutes to an hour with Jay Fidel and the ThinkTech staff. They're terrific professionals. They help us to bring some of the leading cutting-edge topics here across our state to you. So you can join us at our show on healthcare in Hawaii to talk with leaders from across all the spectrum of health in our state, or you can join us for any other show where we talk about economic development or tourism or some really eclectic programs too. So really, we'd love to see you here on our show. Thanks for joining us and thanks for supporting us.
Hi, we're back and we're live. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii Digital Series. I am Donna Blanchard, proud managing director of Kumukuhoi Theater, and we are coming to you live from Pioneer Plaza, very near Kumukuhoi Theater in downtown Honolulu. I'm talking with artist Damon Ramsey, and we just started looking at some of your Tiki Bar paintings, and we've got some more. Let's go ahead and bring those up if you don't mind, Zuri. We'll take a
Tiki's
look at
partying in a
them.
tiki bar just kind of made sense to me, you know. If you already have the tiki bar, you might as well put the tikis in there.
I think that when I originally saw your work, I saw this and it looked very simplistic to me. And I walked up closer and looked and realized there's so much here, and there's so much, yes, it's the primary colors and the black lines and the, you know, it looks very, I want to use the word cartoonish, but I want to use it in the nicest way.
Right, no,
okay,
that's
in the
fine.
nicest possible way.
Cartoon's fine.
And then I realized that not only is, you know, you have very nice brush strokes, the work is very, it looks very advanced. And then on top of that, you have this sense of humor that's coming through.
Yeah.
Which is pretty awesome.
The sense of humor is just comes out. I'd feel like I'd be ripping people off if I wasn't, you know, painting with my sense of humor. Because, you know, painting a tiki painting is cool, but, you know, making somebody laugh and bringing a smile to their face, there's nothing more powerful than that.
Yeah.
You know, good art brings an emotion, you know, and I watch people just walk up to my art and smile, and I just, you know, that's worth any money that you could make. Actually, it's really interesting because when one of the first big canvases that I sold was to a lady, and she just loved it, and it wasn't a tiki painting, but it was a landscape painting, and she loved it, and we bartered back and forth, And she gave me the money, you know, and she was walking down, and I was thinking, wow, this is really great. I earned that with my hands. I painted something, I did something I love, and I made money at it. And that's when I felt shame, because I looked at her, and she was skipping down the sidewalk, and she looked back at me, holding the painting, and she waved. And I was like, and I'm making people happy. Wow, this is important. This is, wow. Because doing something you love and getting paid for it is the ultimate dream, right?
Yeah.
But making somebody happy while doing that, there's no way I could do anything else.
You felt shame?
I felt shame because I was so excited about that I had made money, you know, and that wasn't the message that I was supposed to get. You know, earlier that day I was driving in and I was, you know, saying a little prayer, hey, is this what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? Please give me a sign, show me, you know. And then this lady came and did that, and I was like, oh, okay, and I'm making people happy. Okay, good, yes, this is awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, your work, I think my definition of a good piece of art is something that you hang on your wall and you continue to want to
Right.
look at it.
Right.
It's not just something that you look at for a while and you say, that looks nice on the couch, so it's
Right.
good. But you really want to keep looking into that.
Right.
And I was surprised, and again, I'm saying this in the nicest way possible. Initially, when I looked at your stuff, I was like, oh, you know, and then I realized, no, I want to keep looking at this stuff. Oh,
Right.
we're showing one of my favorites. I
Oh,
love that. Oh, no,
the,
sorry, you got to go back to that.
Oh, the
Oh,
cockroach.
it's automatic. It's the cockroach.
Oh,
yeah.
The cockroach painting, yeah.
What's
I get
the
a lot
title
of
of it?
comments.
There it
Yeah, that's the epic battle between cockroach and tiki. If you live in Hawaii, you understand the cockroach.
That's about the size of them, too. That's the proper scale.
You know, yeah, I got the scale right. What's interesting about this painting is the one with the machine gun. He looks nervous. He's got the first shot off. You know, but he looks nervous, and that's because he sees the slipper, and that's the weapon of mass destruction for cockroaches. And you know, Hiki the Tiki. That's the name of my Tiki. He's got the aerosol attack, but they're prepared for that. They've seen that before. So this is what goes on at my house pretty much nightly. So
I use a vacuum cleaner.
yeah, I use a slipper. You don't use something too hard because it makes a mess. Slippers are just the right amount. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. There's a lot in there. I didn't even notice the bullet. The bullet's
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
going.
He got the first shot off, you know, but he's
Yeah.
still nervous. He's like, yeah. So.
So you started off with the little guys that you were selling to
Right.
on the zoo
Right.
wall fence.
They're mostly just landscapes and wave paintings, basically in my style. My style came to me because of my lack of ability, which is kind of weird. When I first started, I couldn't blend very well with my paintbrush. It was a technique that I was, working on, but hadn't mastered it. So I started with a sun, and the sun was yellow, and then another ring that was orange, another ring that was red, and another ring that was dark red. And that's why I was able to blend the sky. So I did it with very bold black lines, and so my lack of ability kind of helped define my style. Now I can blend, so I have that in there, and you start throwing blending and shadows in there, and then you really got something.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm intrigued. How were you supported with the work? Like, what gave you the cojones to put it up and say, I'm going to show this to a bunch of people and try to sell it?
I just felt that this is what I wanted to do with my life. Call it a calling or whatever. This is just, I was going to move to Hawaii and be an artist.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest things you can ever do, right?
Right.
So.
Oh, yeah, that's a leap. How old were you when you did that initially?
Gosh, I was in my 40s. 30s, 40s, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, I was in a cubicle. I had a cubicle job in Seattle, and living in Seattle, I've lived there my whole life, but it's kind of like living inside the shell of a snail. It's damp and it's wet. You don't see the sky very often, So living here in Hawaii, it's beautiful every day and sunny. And
There's surfing. Oh, I love this one, too.
oh, yeah. That's my business card, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, that's me.
Is that your self-portrait?
That's a self-portrait.
It
right
is a
there.
self-portrait.
That's the painting. I made that specifically for my business card, yeah. I never sold that one, actually. I don't have very many paintings that I have in my personal collection. I've pretty much sold everything that I...
Oh. Well, that's good.
Which is
Keeps you
great
going.
because, as I'm doing studies, and I'm getting better towards this one painting, I'm able to sell my studies, that's just, where can you do that?
Yeah.
You know?
So tell me, and you can just keep showing paintings if you like. Once we get into the non-tiki ones, then I want to talk about those
my weird
separately.
stuff?
The weird stuff. Yes, some weird stuff. We don't use the word weird when we're talking about art.
I call it weird. It's kind of out there. Got to use the right primer, so.
The right.
Artists
So,
need primer too,
when you're painting, who's your audience? I mean, who are you thinking about when you're painting? When you're making those decisions about, now I'm going to paint this. Does it just come to you? I want to do this. Are you?
That's interesting. I don't think about that. I don't think about my audience too much. I just kind of, this is, I'll see it in my sketch, or I'll have a little joke that I want to tell, and pretty much painting them for myself.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's a commission that somebody specifically wants me to, I want 2 tikis on the beach and I want this. Yeah, I do it for myself.
Okay.
Then
Then
I'll have a joke I want to tell, or I'll see something that's interesting to me, and then I'll go from there. And it all lives in my sketchbooks, Take my sketchbook everywhere I go, So when you're waiting at the dentist's, you can sit there and sketch and.
Do you just start? Now I'm really breaking it down. Do you just start drawing something, or do you wait for the inspiration for what you're going to do?
I just draw, and it just comes out sometimes. Sometimes I'll see something, and sometimes I'll have an idea, but more often than not, I'm just going. I'll see a banana, tiki slipping on a banana peel. That's got to be funny, right? So.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about the tiki that the Brady kids found in the cave when they were visiting Hawaii?
Yeah. Wasn't Don Ho in that? I think he was.
I think he was.
Yeah. Oh, this one's Pakalolo Valley. This is I have a whole series of these paintings. I know where that is, but I'm sworn to secrecy. I cannot show you where it is on the island. But
that's where the tikis party?
Yeah, that's and the alien came down as part of an exchange program, which was kind of funny because the tikis were on the beach and they were having a party, and they were jamming out, and the alien came down from outer space. And I've always been inspired by like the old black and white 50s sci-fi movies and stuff like that. So the alien came from outer space, and he brought his keg of intergalactic beer. And then there was an exchange program that was worked out over time that, he'd bring the intergalactic beer, and they would, in exchange for the Pakalolo.
Would smoke up with him.
Yeah.
So do you have that running story? Does the story lead to the drawings, the painting,
Yeah,
or do you just incorporate it?
They do all the stuff. The tiki does all the stuff I like to do. He likes to party. He likes to chase after girls. He likes
intergalactic beer.
He likes to drink intergalactic beer and hang out at the beach, and So I never run out of stuff to paint about because I'm out doing stuff, and I'll see something. I like to surf, so I'll do surf and tikis. I like to play music, so they're always jamming.
So we've got some
having a good time.
Bands.
They're rascally. They smoke and drink and party.
Rascally tikis.
Just like me.
So, if you're and I'm sorry to be hung up on this, but if you're painting for yourself, if you are your primary audience,
Right.
Is it ever hard to part with your stuff?
No. In the beginning, there's a few paintings that you feel calling you, but for the most part, it's just paint it and paint another one. So I had a teacher one time in high school, Lee Bogle, my art teacher, and he said, "Oh, so you painted a masterpiece? That's great. Now paint another one." We spent one day doing a painting, and he came at the end of the day and made us all throw it away. It was like, look at it. It's just you're going to paint a better one tomorrow.
He really made you throw it away.
Really made us throw it away.
That's
I was
awesome.
kind of bummed. But I saw it, and it stuck with me. It was like, just keep painting, Just keep. There's a few paintings that I have. There was a series the 2 paintings that I did that were kind of like, I had an art teacher or a mentor in Connecticut, and he blew the lid off color for me. He really broke it down. I had specific questions, and he was able to really break it down. His advice was, if you have a painting that's in a certain color, every color that you add into that painting, add a little bit of that primary color to that paint, and it will automatically pull it in that direction.
Oh.
And give that painting the harmony that you're looking for. And sometimes I use that when I'm looking to get that kind of harmony, and sometimes I'm not looking for that, and I won't use that. But so there were two paintings that I did that were during that period, and I saved those two. I wanted too much money for them. They were small, and I wanted too much money for them, and I felt that if I did that, I think I just lost.
Oh, you just lost your mic. You know what? We're gonna take a break anyway.
Great.
So while you get hooked back up, we will be right back. Please stay put. You're watching Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii digital series.
Okay, this is ThinkTech Hawaii, and it's Wednesday. Every Wednesday is Energy Wednesday here in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. 4 to 5 p.m. every Wednesday. Come and listen to us. And just to show you what I mean, I'm going to ask Sharon to tell us more.
Come and see us every Wednesday, as Jay said. And we have people like Jim Albers from HECO here and co-host Ray Starling here every Wednesday. We not only go on Olelo and OC16, but also stream live. So please come visit us, hear about the latest in clean energy.
Okay, Jim, you've been here. You got any comment on all this?
As important as energy is in all of our lives today, this is a great forum and a great format to vet those issues. So I encourage everybody to listen in and participate.
Okay, Ray, what do you think for a close?
Well, I think this is the greatest show in the energy world here in Hawaii. You can come here every week, 1 hour, and catch the latest on what's happening and hear from the people who really know what's going on, like Jim Alberts. We appreciate your coming today.
Thank you.
Ray Starling, Sharon Moriwaki, Jim Alberts, and Jay Fidel here in Hawaii, the state of clean energy. 4 to 5 p.m. Wednesday. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi, I'm your host on ThinkTech Asia, Bill Sharp. I look forward to you joining us each Monday between 4 and 5 o'clock when we film right here in our studio in downtown Honolulu. The show, ThinkTech Asia, focuses on contemporary events in Asia. And by Asia, we mean anything from Hawaii, south to Australia and New Zealand, west to Pakistan, and as far north as the Russian Far East. Clearly, this is one of the most economically dynamic centers of the world, and we bring you up to date on what's going on in a whole host of countries in this very vital region. We look forward to seeing you. Aloha.
Hi, we're back and we are live. This is Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii digital series. I am Donna Blanchard, proud managing director of Kumukuhui Theater, and we are coming to you from Pioneer Plaza in the heart of downtown Honolulu, very near Kumukuhui Theater, kumukuhua.org. And we're talking with artist Damon Ramsey. We've been looking at your work. We looked at your tiki work. We're going to start looking at some of the non-tiki work.
All the weird stuff. I'll call it weird.
Like the tikis are normal. That's just what you see every day. This is the weird stuff. This should excite people.
Right.
So I just want to go back to this for a moment. When you're working, do you ever imagine where your art is going to be? Who is going to be attracted to your art? What's going to happen to it?
I imagine that it's out there. Okay, here's where it started. I was in a computer job, and they were replacing the system software. And I'd been working in this system software for 5 years. And they were going to replace it, and I said, this is great, let's work on the new system. And they said, no, we still have to make changes to the old system. And I was like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense to me. My grandfather could drive around and point at houses. Oh, I built that house. Oh, see that, I built that house. He left something behind. And that's really what motivated me to do the art, was because I wanted to leave something behind. Something that people would enjoy long after I'm gone. And that's kind of where I started with the art. So I'm hoping that it's out there, it's making people happy, it's bringing joy to their lives, and as much fun as I have making it anyway, so.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So the whimsical, it's all quite whimsical, but some of the pieces that we're looking at, and Zuri's got some more of them in there, are, they all look like there's a story behind them. We just saw one a second ago. I don't know if it's possible to go back to that with the woman in the doorway. Can we go back to the woman in the doorway? In 1 second.
Oh, that painting
we'll
was, when I was in Connecticut, I was trying to do a Connecticut style, still in my style, and that was what it was. The girl in the doorway, come hither.
That's a lot of blue.
Actually, he's the devil in the red suit playing the guitar. And you notice the whole thing's blue, and he's kind of standing out. again, that was one of the first paintings that I was really, in his red, I put some of that primary color that it all pulls it together. But yeah, he was supposed to kind of be a bad guy. And
He doesn't
the
look
girl's
like a
interested.
bad guy. She's interested. We like the bad boys, you know. He
Yeah,
doesn't
we hope
look like
so.
too much of a bad boy.
I'm a bad boy, but I'm still kind of a nice guy, so I don't know how that worked out.
Well, he looks like maybe, I don't know, he doesn't look like a bad boy. His color choices tell me he's a
Yeah.
bad boy, I suppose. But this is one of those that looks somewhat cartoonish
Yeah.
up front, but when you look at it, there's
When-
so much going on.
Whenever I draw people, they just kind of end up looking cartoonish. I don't know how that is. I try to do serious people in paintings, and they always end up being cartoonish. So I found in life it's best to find your own voice.
Yeah.
Don't try to sound like somebody else if that's the way it comes out. Because I can be the best me I can possibly be. If I was trying to be somebody else, I'm going to be just an imitation. So
Yeah.
steal everything, take it, make it your own. That
That's
was
cool.
Picasso, right?
Right. And he also said art forces you to shake the dust of reality off your feet.
Oh yeah, that's
Art.
good. I haven't
Yeah.
heard that one.
Your
That's
stuff
great.
does
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah. Okay. What is up with this?
This is the Indifferent Fish. This is a little salute to Salvador Dali. If you notice, it's got the kind of Dali-ish
lines.
landscape, and
Yeah.
I was it just kind of came out. It was a sketch. Started off as a sketch, and just kind of went from there. The fish is just kind of he's not sure. The fish is out of water, and he's kind of hanging there, but he's kind of looking at the guy like he's the one that's out of place in the picture. I like that.
You like to bring fish out of water.
I like to just
Here's another
I like
one.
to make people, I like to put things in juxtapositions, Like, this was actually the cover for my, one of my Stoned Astronaut albums, Damon and the Stoned Astronauts. This was called Breakfast of Champions. When I was a kid, I really liked biplanes, so I still like drawing biplanes. And that fish just kind of came out. And
those fish are crazy all on their own.
it's just, I
So-
don't know, it's just in my head. It comes out of my sketches. I just draw and it comes out.
What? Oh yeah, this is sexual.
Oh, this is the love bomb. Just plain and simple. Again, with the Salvador Dali kind of basic landscape. I was playing with, more of a realistic style of the clouds and but I just kind of saw this love bomb coming down in the shape of a taxi.
This reminds me of Yellow Submarine, the art in
Could
the
be,
Yellow
yeah.
Submarine.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Peter Max. Oh, he's one of my big heroes.
Have you ever gone for a lengthy period of time without painting?
Yes. Yeah, I think every artist needs to do that. They need to take a break and kind of recharge your batteries and come back to it. I believe it's important.
Did you miss it?
You know what, you do. I'm so busy doing a lot of other things right now that I'm having a hard time getting in my studio and getting the work done. But when I'm up there, it's just, I love it. Yeah, this one was called Pollination, and I just like the little dudes. What was that show? There was a show on TV where everybody shrunk down and they were all in the big, what was it? Land of the Giants. That's what it was. Yeah. So that was kind of
That's
inspired
him.
that. I like science fiction and weird stuff like that. So
I like that one too because he doesn't fit in, but he does.
that painting was interesting because I did the flowers first, and it sat around in my studio for like a year, and then I finally picked it up again and looked at it and saw the bee and just put him in there. And then after the bee was in there, I was like, the dude had to go on top. So it just kind of evolved. That one just kind of evolved.
I
Started
can't
out.
look at bees the same way again. I'm going to be looking more closely.
Yeah.
Do you normally paint your background or your foreground first?
I always start with the sky and paint forward. Skies first, mountains. If you're going to put something in front of something, you want to paint it after. That's it. And you
Something
can
in
see
front.
here where I'm blending pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I'm getting better. It's what happens when you work hard and you paint every day. You get better. So.
Yeah, your brush strokes are now, okay, so we're just looking at photographs of it, but it looks like your brush strokes are very,
It's smooth.
Very
There's
smooth.
not a lot of impasto in my work. It's just the way I paint. I don't know. I paint in batches, so I'll do red. I'll paint like 9 paintings at the same time too, because
Really?
well, I have ADHD, so waiting for paint to dry is a big nemesis for me. So, I paint on one, set it aside, paint on another one, set it aside. By the time I get around, pick up, you know,
You come back
change
to
to
it.
green. Oh, I got to paint mountains now, so I'll paint mountains, and then all the details come in later. So.
So like within the same day, you're going to work on a few different ones?
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody asked me, you know, how long did it take you to paint that painting, and I really honestly don't know because I paint 9 at a time. I know that after about 2 weeks they start hitting the, you know, the done stage. So.
Wow.
And they'll come out all at once, you know, it's a factory kind of thing. I don't know. I just work better that way. It's, you know, I hate waiting for paint to dry. Life's too short for oil paint. I can't.
Yeah,
Just,
I can understand
no,
that.
I tried it and it just was not for me.
Okay, I find that pretty fascinating. Let me just say that. I don't have a question for you
Yeah,
about it.
okay.
I'm just going to say that.
There it is.
So let's talk
I
about what
stumped
else.
you. That's
You
good.
did.
Excellent.
That
Didn't-
never
you
happens.
didn't know that would happen?
Oh, we lost your mic again.
Oh, sorry about
Here.
that.
Pardon me.
Oh, I should keep
Click
quit
that in
stepping
there.
on
I
that
think
one.
it's a product of your foot
Yeah.
action there. Okay, so let's talk about
I
this
got fidgety feet.
picture. We're
Oh,
talking about
this
the
is
rest
my
of
new
your
stuff.
life now.
Well, I'm a musician, and then I was an artist, and I was looking for a new outlet. I found a video camera. I know it sounds bizarre. I found a video camera, and it was in the park. And I tried to get it back to the owner. I never could find I put a thing on Craigslist, never could find him. And I felt that it was, I don't know, maybe God's way of saying, make movies. And so I wanted to make movies, and it takes a lot of people to make movies. And my buddy Joe Corelli, he's a photographer. I'd met him down at the zoo fence. And he says, come out, I shoot the rock bands. And I didn't even know there was a rock scene here. And we got into the rock scene here. I went a couple times, and the third time I brought out my video camera. And it was my birthday, actually. I had a great time. Saw a band, Bone Canyon. It was really fun. I remember standing there with my little camera wanting to get this shot. And in order to get that shot, I had to jump up on the stage to get it. And it was like, I was like reluctant to jump up on the stage and make that move. But as soon as I did, everybody turned around and started, you know, ham-boning it up for me. And I was like, oh, okay, the bands don't care if I'm on the stage with them. That'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, and since I've been a musician my whole life, it just seemed like a logical next step for me.
Okay, so now we have to, you've been a musician all your life.
I've been a musician, yeah, since the 9th grade. That's my true passion is music.
Guitar, you did mention that
I
earlier.
started on guitar and was a singer and guitar player during the 90s in Seattle. It was a fun time, grunge rock, you know.
Yeah. Were you
Those
playing
guys
with
were all my
other-
buddies. I was in a band called The Trip, and we didn't get signed. We got about that close. It was fun. Had a good time. And so I still make music. Technology caught up with me. I could record my own music on a laptop. And I was like, wow, that's cool. And so I started recording my own music. Well, if you start recording your own music, you realize quickly that, well, I need to learn how to play the drums if I want drums on there, and it's just me. So I've been teaching myself instruments, and you know, every year or so
To
I'll
fill
pick
out
up
the
something,
sound.
yeah, and you know, so now I can play all the instruments. And so on my albums, albums for me were something that was amazing, because when you were a kid, you had this album, and it was the art, you know, and it was the music, and how did they make that, and how did they do that, and you know, it's kind of, you know, today it's all like one hit, you know, it's kind of, the album's gone the way of the dinosaur.
Yeah.
And I love that art form. I think the whole thing is an art form, how you get 10 songs to flow into each other, how the art reflects the music. And so I started making my own albums for fun. So I'm Damon and the Stoned Astronauts. And I'm Damon the Stoned Astronaut, as it turns out. I thought it was funny to call my band the Stoned Astronauts when I was the only guy in it.
When it's just you.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
So you're producing actual vinyl.
No, I'm not doing anything vinyl. It's all
okay.
digital, yeah.
It's all digital, but
Yeah.
you're still
it's all on the
creating.
Internet. Yeah, I'm still putting the album cover with it, and you know, the liner notes and the little pictures, and you know.
Okay.
I just love that stuff.
We have some of your music. Maybe we can play it on the way out. Zuri?
Awesome.
Yeah, okay. Damon and the Stoned Astronaut. So you can't really play out because it's all you.
Well, I mean, I could put together something, I'm sure, but really I'm more interested in being behind the scenes now than, you know, because I've done the music and been in bands, and being in bands is difficult. You know, you get 5 guys going one direction, you know, drummers can't make it, you know, bass player doesn't show up, you know,
Yeah.
life gets in the way. And
Yeah.
being able to do my own albums, I can go in my room and, you know, turn it on and plug in my guitar and just start going, you
And
know.
just-
Yeah, it usually starts with the drum beat, and then I'll do a guitar track, and then I'll add maybe a bass track, and just build them, slowly. And then by the end, you're done. You got a whole album. I got 10 songs. What am I gonna do with them?
You got something to hold on to.
Yeah.
We have to go.
Oh, wow. That was really fun. Thanks.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It went really fast. Thank you so much for coming.
Cool.
I have to
Thank
do
you.
our sign out now. Thank you so much for being here. There's a few more people I would like to thank. Zuri Bender, our manager, technology manager, who is in my ear. Zuri, I don't know what, studio engineer. I'm sorry about that. I'd like to thank our floor manager, Sachi Slomov, who's right over there. Thank you, Sachi. I would like to thank Jay Fidel, who somehow manages to put it all together. And you please come back next week. We're here on Center Stage every Wednesday from 2 to 2:45. We'll see you next week. Bye.